Hi everyone, today we're going to learn this fast run-up from Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, and it sounds like this. Cool. So, in this Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses guitar lesson, we are going to look at all the scales and the techniques you're going to need to be able to play this. Before we get started, don't forget, check out the description below. There'll be a link to our webpage where there's a full write-up, so any notes on what I'm talking about. Check that out, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to check out more of our videos. Okay, so let's get started. So this lick is quite speedy. It's this part in the middle of the song. He kicks on the wah for this. I'm not going to use the wah in the lesson because I think it's going to be harder to hear what I'm doing, basically. But once you've got it nailed, you can stick the wah on later. So there's quite a few big kind of stretches in here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to break it down into the positions on the neck. So that's where your hand is, really. Any way you can sort of anchor it. We'll go through it that way. So the first thing to look at is the scale that we're using. This is E harmonic minor. Okay, shape 4 of E harmonic minor we're starting in. If you're not sure what harmonic minor is, check out the website. There's a whole load of stuff on theory on there as well. But for now, we'll just look at the frets anyway. And it starts like this. Okay, that's all we do before we change position, and we'll look at them separately. So, G string, 8th fret with your middle finger. As we go through this, the fingers you use for each note are going to get really important, I think, and where you do the slides and stuff like that, because you always got to think about, because it's so fast, where you're going to next. So, middle finger, 8th fret on the G string, and then 3rd finger on the 9th fret. And then we're coming up to the B string, 8th fret, with your middle finger, and then you're going to pull off to the 7th fret on the B string. So, alright, so we'll go a bit closer for that. Okay. And if you're thinking about the count for this, the rhythm of this is actually not too bad because it's all 16th notes, so it's the same rhythm all the way through, except for the very end there's a little triplet. So basically you just learn the notes and you play them with a metronome all at the same speed, you'll eventually get it. But if you're thinking about when you're coming in with this, it's that's the 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. All right. But after that, it's just 16th notes. So just stick on the metronome and just play it through. Okay, so we're going to come back up. So we've done this. I missed this part out, but we'll go 9th fret here on the G string, that was, and then up to the 7th fret on the B string. So that whole bit is that. So on the G string, it's 8, 9, then B string, 8, 7, and then G string, 9, B string, 7. And then we've got a position shift, so that's what we'll think about as a next lick. Okay, that's the next little bit there. Still in E minor or E harmonic minor. I suppose we're up in shape 5 of this just for a moment before we go into shape 1. So the frets there are index finger, 10th fret, middle finger on the 12th fret, 3rd finger on the 13th fret, all on the B string. Okay, and what's really important here is that we're actually sliding up from the 7th fret with your index finger. So you don't even have to pick that first note because it comes up as a slide. Okay, so far we've got thinking about the picking as well on this. I think there's all the parts come together to make this playable. For me, like if you're trying to alternate pick this, it gets very, very tricky, and it sounds a bit choppy anyway. So I prefer to use legato, so hammer-ons and pull-offs where I can. So, down, up, down, pull-off, pick, and then pick that note and then slide. And that's all legato, hammer-on, pull-off. A lot of times on this, basically, you're going to try not to do any picking unless you're changing strings. There are some cases where we do need it because we're coming into a slide, and I'll explain that when we get there. So, notes so far. Okay, so remember that bit is 10, 12, 13, 12. Let's go through that slow, those first two licks. Okay, after that we've got, sorry, let me try that. There we are. Okay, so we've done that, and then we're going to come up. So our index finger was here on the 10th fret of the B string. It's now going to come up. We can kind of do this as a little position shift as well, or if you like before, you could have been stretched out for that. So index finger is now coming up to the 11th fret on the E string, and then we've got back to the B string 12th fret, hammer on to the 13th, and then pick the 11th fret again on the E string, 12th fret hammer on, and 14th fret hammer on. So, all right, I'll go through that again much more slowly. So the trick with this is really going to be getting it memorized and getting it into your muscle memory. And also really think about where you're doing the slides. For me, I always prefer to do the slides with the note that my index finger's fretting. It's just more control that way. Okay, that's where we've got up to so far. Now, it comes on to the... So that's what we're going for. So it's 11th fret again on the E string, pick it, slide up to the 12th, hammer on to the 14th, hammer on to the 15th. So that's middle finger, third finger. Okay, so that little bit is just there. Remember with this, there's a lot of little bits to learn, but the phrasing is very regular. It's just 16th notes. So just take it bit by bit, get used to playing them, and then you can stick them together. You don't really have to worry about too much rhythm. Okay, after we're up to here, pull off to the 12th fret again, so your index finger should already be fretting that, so you can pull off to it. And then it's hammer on to the 14th, hammer on to the 15th, pull off to the 14th, pull off to the 12th. And then down to the 15th fret on the B string. So I should note here that we've gone into shape 1. He's doing a mix of harmonic minor and natural minor or minor pentatonic as well. So this note here, that is the flat 7th, so that means it's natural minor. We're also going to be playing that major 7th, which means it's harmonic minor. Okay, and if you're not sure about those shapes, check out the website. For this particular write-up, we'll have the scale shapes there, but we've got loads of other stuff on there, really structured theory course as well, so you can just follow that from the beginning, get through that, and then you'll understand what's going on. So I'll go through it again from the beginning. that's where we've got up to. So that's 12th on the E string, hammer on 14, hammer on 15, pull off to the 14, pull off to 12, and then 15th fret on the B string. After that we've got, so that's pretty interesting sounding because that's where it slips back into harmonic minor. So you're going to do middle finger on the 14th fret of the E string, sorry, little finger on the 16th fret of the B string. And that's a harmonic minor note. And then we've got this part, which sounds, which is, that's the one part where it doesn't follow just the 16th notes. It's got a triplet in there, which means we're just playing 3 notes in the space of 2. So it's just a little bit faster, but it's a hammer on. So start with the index finger on the 12th fret, hammer on to the 14th, and then pull off. So it's like a trill. And then it's down to the 15th fret on the B string, back up to the 12th fret on the E string, and then back down to the 15th fret on the B string, and bend up to that root note, which is the E. So I'll go through and I'll put all those bits together. And then just to get the timing in, you can do another bend to the same note. And that's when we're into the E minor solo and so on. Okay, so I'll go through these bits again quite slowly, quite close up, so you can really see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'll start that again. I'm just doing that extra bend at the end just to get it back onto the 1. So technique with this is really all about your hammer-ons and your pull-offs, trying to get them really clear sounding. So a good thing to practice would be just pick any 3 frets, and as you're doing this, make sure that each one is the same volume. You don't want to have something like, you don't want to have really quiet sort of hammer-ons and loud pull-offs, and you want them to be the same volume as your picked notes as well, for the most part. So actually something to do there is, instead of trying to make your hammer-ons and pull-offs really loud, just soften your picking a bit. It makes it way easier to get there, and it also will leave you then, when you're picking, you've got somewhere to go with it. So if you want to accent a note, you can hit it a bit harder. All right, so I'll do that again. I'll do it sort of full speed, and then I'll do it slow, close up, and then we'll be done. So here we go. Okay, and then slow down. Great. So remember, when you're practicing it, start off really slow. Get a feel for where those notes are. Make sure you're doing the slides in the right place. I think there's probably times when you could feel like you could do the slides on your little finger or something like that. That's probably not going to be very helpful. It's harder to control that. So take it really slow, make sure you're doing everything exactly how you want it to be, and then stick on the metronome, make sure you can play it in time, slowly, and then start building up the speed. And you might find as you build the speed up a bit, it starts to get a bit sloppy, but that's okay. Just as long as you don't go so fast that you can't play it at all. If it's just starting to get a little bit sloppy, then that's the speed to stick at, and just try and make it a bit cleaner. And then the next day you can go and push the speed a bit, it goes a bit sloppy again, and then you can clean it up again. I think that's really a good way to get faster with this kind of stuff. Cool. So that's everything. Remember, we've got the link in the description below. So there's a full write-up with all the scale shapes and everything that you're going to need there. And subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this. Thanks.